Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, we are going to go over the new, what is going to be a promo login champion hitting the game in Deliana. I have not read anything about her. I have not looked at the kit. I'm just going to pull up this champion, and we're going to react live. I'm going to give you my first initial impressions of this champion live on the video. We'll also cover what is going on for Raid Shadow Legends this week. We've got a guaranteed summoning event for Sicia the Flametongue, who I actually use in a few of my teams, so I can give you some perspective on that event as well and get you caught up on what you need to know to get your week kicked off. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so first order of business is I'm excited to dive in and see what we've actually got for a kit here on Deliana. Now, aesthetically, it looks super cool. Definitely fits the theme of a high elf, and absolutely love the aesthetics here with the orbs, and we also got an orb as part of the weapon to keep up with the theme. So definitely an amazing job. I love the hair. Her hair looks super cool. Very good job on the aesthetics, as Raid always does. And I also like to look at the kit and try to figure out if I can guess what we've got going on here. So the A1 looks like it's going to be some sort of like entanglement of love. I can't even think what that would be. But some sort of CC, lock them down in some way or something. It looks like. Then we've got some sort of a shield. So we're probably gonna get like an ally defense up or shield buff on the entire team. And then we've got chains, some sort of CC ability. That one's not sticking out to me. And then the passive is gonna increase people's accuracy for the whole team. We've got like the accuracy logo, and then we got an HP aura. Okay, so as far as base stats, looks pretty normal. 60 is pretty good for resistance and accuracy as far as a base, and then everything else looks pretty much what you would expect for an HP scaling champion. So now let's go ahead and figure it out here. So attacks all enemies. That's nice. I did not think, because it only showed one enemy, I didn't think it would be an AoE. As if it was like, oh, leech. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so that makes sense. You got like the leech coming out of somebody, but it showed one enemy, so I wouldn't think it'd be AoE, but that's super cool. Anytime you get an A1 that is an AoE, that is a very welcomed ability. One enemy, decreased resistance. Okay, if the target is under a block buff's debuff, also applies a debuff spread, taking any decreased resistance and placing it on all enemies. Okay, so decreasing resistance is becoming a little bit more common in the game, and it's obviously very impactful anytime you can place that somewhere like the arena where you're going to need to be super consistent with the debuffs you're placing. And then we get another AoE. Oh, okay, so two different AoEs. And, block buffs, okay, that's extremely strong. Yeah, 4 turn cooldown on that, because 3 turns would be crazy. 100% on 2 turns. Heals all allies by 5% of their max HP for each block buffs placed by this skill. Fill the champion's turn meter for each block buffs blocked or resisted on the enemy team. So, okay, that's cool. So you get some value. So you're facing like a team that has Duchess, and they've got a block debuffs buff. So she does this ability and it doesn't place anything. You'll get a 40% turn meter boost. So you kind of got like a mechanic where you're less likely to waste some of the value of the champion. So I like where their head is at on that ability. That's pretty cool. And then we get a passive, increase this champion's accuracy by 2 for every 1,000 HP the champion has. Okay, so you can see a build that's pretty realistic. You get like 50,000 HP on her, and you're gonna get 2 for each 1,000, so you would get a bonus 100 accuracy. That's an interesting mechanic. That's yeah, okay. We haven't really seen that in champions, I don't think. And then we also get placed 25% strength and buff on all allies for 2 turns every time this champion's HP drops below 50%, which is interesting because there's no provoke mechanic here. And then we also have ally HP in all battles by 33%, which is a very solid aura. Okay, so, geez, looks pretty cool. The block buffs is probably the best part, while also filling turn meter if you mess up the value, and then just getting a bunch of extra accuracy, like 100 something bonus accuracy, basically just for building the champion on the passive here. So, yeah, pretty solid. Like, you gotta remember, as a login champion that's just being given out for free, yeah, I like the design here. I think she's really solid without being, you know, like Siphi or Duchess or something. So I think they did a pretty good job on the design here. I think like Ninja and Deliana, they did a pretty good job, and then Alexander probably could have been a little bit better than they made him. And also tomorrow on Tuesday, May 24th, they are going to be doing a guaranteed summoning event for Sicia Flametongue, and it's going to revolve around Sacred Shards, and it's going to take 12 this time. So it looks like they're starting to scale these back a little bit. We used to see the Ancient Shard events be 150. They've been playing around with making them like 120, and we used to see these Sacred events take 15, and they're playing around with scaling that back to 12. So I like that. I think we need to bring those back a little bit, especially with how often we are doing all sorts of these crazy events that bleed the player base, these insane champion training events, all of the guaranteed summoning events, the CVCs, the fragment champions. It's just a constant bleed on people's resources. So let's start scaling back some of these events to make them a little bit more realistic for people to participate in. And as far as Sicia is concerned, I like her. She's an awesome champion. Again, one of the best looking aesthetic champions in the game. Absolutely incredible. But not only that, she is definitely very high in utility. I use her in my Spider 25 team. I can show you here real quick. The spider, and she absolutely crushes it in any sort of a spider context. I'll show you what a run looks like with Sicia in it here. And she kind of like blows up and detonates these HP burns. You get things tuned right, and you can really do some fun things in the spider. I do have a dedicated video showcasing some of this stuff that I'll try to remember to link over there, and you can look at her just bursting down the spider. And I'm able to blast through Spider 25 at a pretty fast time with Sicia completely popping off. You can even build crazier teams that do this in like 15 seconds, but mine is right there around 20 something seconds typically. So Sicia is definitely a good addition to any account. She can be really good in the Hydra as well, and just kind of a general utility champion, but probably shines the most in the Spider and the Hydra. So is she worth 12 Sacreds? You know, I mean, that answer always comes down to your specific account. Like, if she's not a dupe and you're struggling to build a good Spider 25 team, or you're struggling to find good champions to use in the Hydra, and you're still kind of in the progression phase, I mean, yeah, I'm kind of torn on it. She's not like a Duchess or anything like that, but she is definitely a solid addition to your account. So I can kind of see both sides of the argument. It's just going to depend, again, where you are at, what your spending tier is, and where your account is kind of at in the progression phase of how you are playing Raid. And while we're here, why not go over if there's anything worth it in the shop here. This one's a pretty common offer. For any of you that are new, I'll go ahead and plug it in. There is nothing too crazy with this one. It's not typically a recommend from me. If I remember right, it's like a 2.01 or something, if I can guess the offers. So we got the XP brews of 100. I could probably zoom this in a little bit and not miss out on too much. There we go. And then the 6 5-star chickens of... boom, 1.36. Was it really that bad? Did I miss anything? $40, 100 brews, 1.5 million, 500 gems, and the 6. Okay, yeah. So way better for the early game than the end game, but this should be like a $20 offer in my opinion, not 40, 30 at most. So that one's not worth it. Gem pack for 20 bucks, but people will probably be curious about this one. The monthly gem pack is definitely pretty solid. But what do we got here? We got 24, 6. This will be like a 2.0. Yep, 2.0 exactly. So for any sort of a higher tier spender, it's at least a 2.0, but for the people that are super picky, I would probably hold off on that one. The multi-battle pack, I've plugged this in hundreds of times. It ends up being worth about $7 or so. So you have to ask yourself, is 150 multi-battles worth like $2 or $3? If it is, then it's not that bad of an offer, and the monthly pack grades out as about a 2.5. So for spenders on Raid, that's always a pretty consistent and decent purchase. Alrighty, so that is what we wanted to get done here today in this video. Let me know down below how you feel about Deliana. Was I kind of right? Was I missing anything? And what is the general sentiment that you have around her as a champion being a free login reward for people logging in and participating for 7 days to unlock this champion pretty soon here. So that is going to do it for me on this one. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.